If I say Cherokee, Bronco, and Land Cruiser, you know we're talking royalty. In this video, there's no filler, just legends. We've selected the 12 classic SUVs that defined our lives. Decades of automotive history condensed into machines that were built to last generations. The question we're going to answer today isn't which was the fastest or the most luxurious, but which was built tougher, which was designed to survive when everything else failed. Stay until the end and draw your own conclusions about which of these steel warriors deserves the title of the most indestructible. Let's begin. Number 12, Chevrolet Tahoe from 1998. In the 90s, the Chevrolet Tahoe from 1998 became the standard for full-size SUVs. It was a giant, imposing, and powerful vehicle, the perfect choice for those who needed more space, more power, and more capacity than a mid-size SUV. It represented the end of the two-door Blazer era and the beginning of a new era of family SUVs. The design was bold, with a large grille, a long hood, and a body that looked robust and strong. It resembled its bigger sibling, the Chevrolet CK pickup, and its square, muscular design made it look ready for anything. The interior was spacious and comfortable with a simple and functional dashboard. The Tahoe was one of the largest SUVs on the market, so passenger and cargo space was unmatched. It was an ideal vehicle for long family trips or for transporting large loads. Under the hood, it came with a powerful V8 5.7-liter engine that produced a solid 255 horsepower and about 330 pound-feet of torque. With that power, the Tahoe had no trouble pulling a trailer, climbing a hill, or simply accelerating on the highway. Although it wasn't the most efficient, its power and capability made it a very popular choice for those who needed a work vehicle. The Tahoe's capability was one of its biggest selling points. It could tow up to 7,000 pounds, and its suspension and chassis allowed it to handle any type of load. It was an ideal vehicle for towing a boat, a horse trailer, or simply for transporting a large group of people. This truck defined an era. Its size, power, and versatility made it one of the most popular and memorable SUVs of the 90s. Number 11, Toyota Land Cruiser FJ55 1978. In 1978, as the world accelerated towards modernity, Toyota looked towards the mud, the rocks, the forgotten roads, and decided to build a vehicle that could not only reach the end of the world but return intact. Thus was born the Toyota Land Cruiser FJ55, respectfully nicknamed by many as the Iron Pig for its long, robust body and its strange beauty. This model, originally launched in 1967, was Toyota's first attempt to transform its rugged and Spartan Land Cruiser line into something more family-friendly, something that could conquer not only mountains but also suburbs. And in 1978, in its final years of production, the FJ55 had already found its definitive character. Its design was peculiar. The front seemed almost taken from a train with a split grille and round headlights embedded in a square, somewhat expressionless face. The lines were straight geometric without softness or aesthetic concessions, but that rarity made it unforgettable. The FJ55 was built on the same Land Cruiser 40 Series chassis, but with a longer body ideal for transporting the whole family, field tools, provisions, or all at the same time. It was an off-roader disguised as a station wagon, a rare combination for the time, but it worked. Under the hood beat the heart of the beast, a 6-cylinder inline, 4.2-liter engine capable of producing 135 horsepower and a generous 217 pound-feet of torque. It wasn't fast, but it didn't need to be. This engine was a literally indestructible rock. It could travel thousands of kilometers through deserts or jungles without blinking. The transmission was a 4-speed manual, and the 4x4 system with a transfer case made the FJ55 a climbing, rescue, and expedition machine. This was not a city SUV, it was a warrior of dust and brush. Inside, comfort was Spartan. The dashboard was simple, metallic, with large, easy-to-read instruments, vinyl seats, easy-to-wash floors, and a rear space that could be folded to carry everything. Its function was clear: to resist, to serve, and never to fail. Number 10, Land Rover Discovery, 1995. The Land Rover Discovery from 1995 demonstrated that SUVs could be a luxury vehicle with unmatched off-road capability. This model did not seek massive popularity, but focused on an audience that valued adventure and refinement. Although first launched in the late 80s, the 1995 model was key to being introduced to the United States market, solidifying its reputation. The Discovery's design was unmistakable. Its boxy aesthetic with vertical lines and its famous stepped roof, which offered more headroom in the rear, made it unique. Externally, it was robust and adventurous, while inside it was comfortable and functional. The interior was designed to be practical, with high-quality seats and a simple dashboard. The Discovery also offered the iconic Alpine windows on the top of the roof, which let in more light and gave a feeling of spaciousness. Under the hood, the Land Rover Discovery from 1995 came with a V8 3.9-liter engine that produced around 182 horsepower and about 232 pound-feet of torque. This engine gave it impressive power for off-road use, but its true magic was in its four-wheel drive system. Unlike many of its rivals, the Discovery came with a permanent all-wheel drive system that made it unbeatable on any terrain. In terms of capability, the Discovery from 1995 was a champion. It could tow up to 5,500 pounds, and its suspension and chassis were designed to handle any type of challenge, from crossing rivers to climbing mountains. It wasn't the fastest or most powerful SUV, but it was one of the most capable of its time. Number 9. Jeep Cherokee XJ 1984. In 1984, Jeep did something that not only redefined the SUV category, it rewrote it. They introduced the Cherokee XJ, a vehicle that broke with everything established. Until then, SUVs were gigantic, heavy, built on truck chassis, but the XJ said, what if we make it more compact with an aggressive design and turn it into an off-road machine without losing comfort? It was the first SUV with a unibody structure. That made it lighter, more maneuverable, and above all, more efficient on the road. It had 4x4 traction with either a command track or select track system, depending on the version, which allowed choosing between permanent or selectable all-wheel drive. Under the hood, the Cherokee XJ offered engine options ranging from a 2.5-liter four-cylinder to the legendary inline-six 4.0-liter, which developed close to 190 horsepower and more than 220 pound-feet of torque, a configuration that made it a favorite of adventurers, mechanics, and collectors. But the most surprising thing about the Cherokee XJ was not just its power, it was its resistance. Many models exceeded 300,000 kilometers without opening the engine, and off-road it faced difficult terrains with an ease that made much more expensive brands uncomfortable. Inside, the XJ offered a simple but functional design, analog instrumentation, manual climate control, thick fabric seats, and a compact center console. But everything was designed to last, withstand jolts, and allow the cabin to remain intact after years of use. It had a towing capacity of up to 5,000 pounds, which was impressive for its size, and its approach and departure angles made it suitable for steep climbs without problems. In addition, its square design with straight lines and large windows was not just aesthetics, it was vision, visibility, and ease of repair. Number 8. Isuzu Trooper 1992. The Isuzu Trooper from 1992 was the contender that entered the ring in the 90s with a monumental challenge. While the spotlights pointed to the victories of the Mitsubishi Montero in the Dakar and the legendary robustness of the Nissan Patrol, the Trooper had to carve its own path without the glamour of its rivals. Its task was not to win beauty contests, but to demonstrate that with honest and simple engineering, it could equal or even surpass the reliability of the greats. The Trooper was the choice for the buyer who valued pure durability above brand and aesthetics. Its weapon was its unwavering simplicity and its strength for work. Built on an indestructible ladder frame chassis, it was a true truck disguised as an SUV. Its square design meant that the interior was vast, a cabin with enviable panoramic visibility and plenty of room for 5 adults in their gear. Although the interior trim was more utilitarian than luxurious, focused on abuse resistance. This is where the Trooper separates itself from new crossovers. Thanks to that robust chassis, the Trooper from 1992 had a towing capacity that comfortably exceeded 2 tons, making it a serious option for camping or towing boats, something unthinkable for the softer models that were to come. Its V6 2.8-liter engine was not the most powerful on the list, but it was designed to deliver consistent and fault-free torque. The Isuzu Trooper was never the king of sales, and for that reason, it is the most underestimated on the list. However, it earned a place of unwavering respect among purists. It is proof that in the 90s, true off-road capability was found in proven engineering and not always in marketing. Number 7. Jeep Cherokee SJ 1978. In a world where SUVs were beginning to become symbols of freedom and adventure, Jeep launched one of its most iconic jewels, the Cherokee SJ. This medium-sized SUV combined Jeep's legendary off-road capability with a design focused on comfort and daily life, marking the beginning of a new era for sport utility vehicles. The Cherokee SJ, also known as the Classic Cherokee, was presented as a more compact and manageable version than the Wagoneer, but without sacrificing anything in strength and versatility. Its square and robust design with clean lines gave it an unmistakable character, a perfect balance between strength and style. In 1978, this model had already won over drivers who wanted a vehicle for both the city and nature getaways. Under the hood, the Cherokee SJ could be equipped with inline six-cylinder engines and a powerful V8 of 5.9 liters, which developed around 185 horsepower and 345 newton-meters of torque, enough to dominate any road. There was also an even more powerful version with a V8 of 6.6 liters that delivered up to 215 horsepower and 430 newton-meters of torque, significantly increasing its towing capacity and performance on demanding slopes. Its 4x4 traction system with a 2-speed transfer case allowed switching between high and low traction modes, making it an off-roader capable of facing mud, snow, sand, or rock with confidence. The robust suspension and body-on-chassis provided safe and comfortable driving on difficult terrain and at highway speeds. Number 6. Toyota 4Runner, first generation 1984. The first generation of the Toyota 4Runner was born with an idea that seemed revolutionary in the 80s, to take the base of a Hilux pickup and turn it into a closed, family-friendly, and capable SUV. But what was the formula? A truck chassis, a compact body, and a removable fiberglass roof that transformed it into a convertible SUV. Yes, the 4Runner could become a pickup by simply removing the rear roof. It was versatile, robust, and completely different from what the market offered at that time. Toyota launched it in 1984, and what seemed like an experiment ended up being one of the pillars of its off-road legacy. Under the hood, it had a 2.4-liter 22R 4-cylinder engine with 97 horsepower and 140 pound-feet of torque. It wasn't fast, but it was reliable. Later, versions were offered with the 22RE engine with electronic injection and a turbo variant that reached 135 horsepower. There was also a V6 version of 3.0 liters and 150 horsepower, although many enthusiasts prefer the 4-cylinder for its legendary durability. The transmission could be a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic, and the traction was part-time 4x4, ideal for off-asphalt adventures. Its towing capacity was around 2,500 pounds, enough to tow motorcycles, light trailers, or camping equipment. Inside, the 4Runner offered just enough: durable fabric seats, space for 5 passengers, and a simple but functional console. Some SR5 models included an inclinometer, altimeter, and aesthetic details that made it more attractive. There were no luxuries, but there was a feeling of an honest vehicle made to last. Number 5. Ford Explorer XLT 1994. The Ford Explorer XLT of 1994 reached its peak not for being the most robust or innovative, but it is undoubtedly the one with the greatest historical impact on the entire list. The Explorer's mission was purely cultural and market-driven. It had to convince the American middle class to abandon their station wagons forever and get into a taller, safer, and more dominant vehicle. Ford had to mix the ruggedness of its trucks with the comfort of its passenger cars to create an irresistible sales machine. The Explorer achieved this by offering the perception of luxury and robustness at an affordable price. Its secret weapon was a perfect balance between truck reliability and modern comfort. It was built on a body-on-frame chassis which gave it the strength and genuine towing capacity of a truck, easily exceeding 2 tons of towing. Under the hood, the omnipresent V6 of 4.0 liters engine offered the torque and power needed for suburban life, with a sense of security that low cars could not match. But the real hook was on the inside. In the Explorer, luxury mattered. The XLT versions had comfortable seats, power windows, air conditioning, and a level of finishes that made its tough 4x4 rivals look like military utility vehicles. It was the first SUV where comfort was the priority. This SUV became a sales phenomenon. It was the best-selling vehicle in the United States during the decade and unleashed a global fever that redefined the automotive landscape forever. Number 4. Mitsubishi Montero late 80s/early 90s. The Mitsubishi Montero of the late 80s and early 90s earned its place on this list not by marketing, but by pure merit on the toughest terrains on the planet. While other SUVs were sold with promises, the Montero delivered them in the Dakar Rally, the most brutal competition ever created. This vehicle was designed from scratch as a true off-roader, with a robust ladder chassis, long travel suspension, and simple but effective mechanical systems. Its exterior design was functional rather than aesthetic, with square lines that maximized interior space and approach angles. Under the hood, the Montero offered engines ranging from the 4-cylinder 2.6 liters to the powerful V6 of 3.0 liters that developed close to 150 horsepower. The real star was its Super Select 4-wheel drive system that allowed switching between 2-wheel drive, part-time 4-wheel drive, full-time 4-wheel drive, and 4-wheel drive with a central differential lock, all without stopping. It was technology that its competitors would take years to match. Inside, the Montero combined functionality with surprising comfort for its time. The seats were durable but comfortable, the dashboard was simple, and all controls were within reach. Its towing capacity exceeded 3,500 pounds and could transport up to 7 passengers in the 3-row versions. What truly makes it tough is its proven legacy. These vehicles crossed deserts, climbed mountains, and survived decades of extreme abuse. Number 3. Nissan Patrol 80s and 90s. The Nissan Patrol of the 80s and 90s is the very definition of indestructible. While the Land Cruiser took the fame in the West, the Patrol quietly dominated the most hostile corners of the world, from the deserts of the Middle East to the jungles of Australia. This vehicle was built with a simple philosophy: it must always work, regardless of conditions. Its ladder chassis was so robust that many compared it to military equipment. The solid axles front and rear, the leaf spring suspension, and the uncompromising construction made it a practically unbreakable machine. Under the hood, the legendary 4.2-liter diesel engine was an iron block that could run on questionable quality fuel and continue working for hundreds of thousands of kilometers. There were also versions with the 4.0-liter gasoline engine, equally robust. The 4x4 traction system was simple but effective, with a 2-speed reduction gear and differential locks in the more equipped versions. Its towing capacity easily exceeded 4,000 pounds. The interior was Spartan but functional, designed to be hosed down if necessary. What makes the Patrol truly special is its global reputation. In countries where roads are suggestions and maintenance is limited, the Patrol remains the vehicle of choice. It is common to see units with more than 500,000 kilometers still working daily. Number 2. Ford Bronco 3rd Generation 1980. In 1980, Ford not only redesigned a truck, it redefined what an SUV should be. The Bronco entered its 3rd generation with a radical transformation: shorter, lighter, more aerodynamic, but equally challenging. The independent twin traction beam front suspension was revolutionary in an SUV of its size. Each front wheel could move autonomously. The result was a smoother ride on the road without losing the ruggedness that characterized it off-road. Under the hood, the Bronco offered options for all tastes. The most emblematic engine was the V8 of 5.0 liters with 152 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. The inline 6-cylinder of 4.9 liters with 122 horsepower and 250 pound-feet of torque was also available. Both engines offered a towing capacity exceeding 5,000 pounds and were coupled to 4-speed manual transmissions or C6 gear automatics. Its interior was more refined than ever. It featured spacious seats, vinyl or fabric upholstery, an optional center console, power windows, an AM/FM radio, and as a novelty, an integrated CB radio. The instrument panel included a tachometer, a digital clock, and pressure and charge gauges. The body remained a 2-door with a removable roof, a configuration that allowed it to be converted into an open SUV, ideal for outdoor getaways. Today, that Bronco is remembered as the one that marked the beginning of a new generation, the one that not only adapted but led, the one that humiliated its rivals with intelligence without losing its wild essence. The true robustness of this Bronco resided in its truncated chassis architecture derived from the F-150 series, which gave it a structural rigidity that its unibody competitors could not dream of matching. The twin traction beam system not only improved comfort but also allowed for a much superior front suspension travel on steep terrain, keeping the differential protected from direct impacts against rocks. In the accessories market of the 80s, it was common to see these units equipped with 33-inch tires without the need for major modifications, a testament to the oversized wheel arches. Its mechanical durability was such that the components of the Ford 9-inch rear axle became the gold standard for desert racing vehicle builders, capable of withstanding thermal and mechanical abuse for thousands of kilometers of uninterrupted punishment. Number 1. Toyota Land Cruiser Series 60 80s. The Toyota Land Cruiser Series 60 from the 80s holds the undisputed number 1 spot as the toughest classic SUV ever built. This vehicle was not designed to impress in a showroom, it was designed to survive the end of the world. Built on a massive ladder chassis with solid axles front and rear, this Land Cruiser was practically indestructible. Under the hood beat the legendary 4.0-liter diesel engine or the 4.2-liter gasoline version, both iron blocks capable of running for decades with minimal maintenance. The 5-speed manual or 4-speed automatic transmission was coupled to a 2-speed transfer case with a center lock. Its towing capacity exceeded 6,000 pounds. The interior was spacious and surprisingly comfortable for a pure off-roader with capacity for 8 passengers. What makes the Series 60 the absolute number 1 is its worldwide reputation as the most reliable vehicle ever built. Humanitarian organizations, scientific expeditions, and extreme adventurers entrust their lives to this vehicle. It is common to find units with more than 1 million kilometers still running. The Land Cruiser Series 60 is not just the toughest on this list, it is arguably the toughest vehicle ever made.